What is a pioneer? By definition, it is a person who develops or is the first to use or apply a new method, area of knowledge, or activity. So, like Soldier Boy.
World! These niggas, yeah, Drake!
Or Ray J.
I hit it first.
Or this guy. These guys I'm going to talk to you about today were just that. Pioneers in the independent American manga scene. These guys were some of the earliest people to utilize YouTube in a way that many, including myself, are doing today. They documented and brought us into their journey of creating, developing, and ultimately publishing their own manga. These guys were writer Ryan Ingalls and artist Anthony Jacobo. Their manga is titled Rona, and their YouTube channel was The Rona Project.
Okay, let me get another crack at this here. Do a few takes just to get used to the camera and everything. This is my first time doing any video or anything like this, posting anything on YouTube, talking to the camera by myself in my own house and all that jazz, and talking to some people out there like you guys. My name is Ryan Ingalls, and this will be the first video of the Rona Project. The reason we're doing the video, and this is the beginning of the end theory, I guess, for us.
But before we get into the Rona Project, I just want to give a huge thanks for everybody who's watched my last two videos. I got so much great reception and views from those last two videos, my People Show video and my Felipe Smith video. My People Show video is almost at 30K, which is the most views I've ever gotten on this channel so far. I've literally doubled in subscribers since then. So I just want to give a huge thanks to everybody who's new and old to this channel. I highly appreciate it. Thanks, and let's get back to the video. So let me take you back to 2009 when I was in the 6th grade. This was the year I discovered my love for drawing, specifically drawing comics. I discovered YouTube and found out what a tutorial was. Also during that year, I found a few channels to learn how to draw from. At the time, there weren't many, especially channels who were teaching people how to draw comics or manga. The OGs I remember watching were creators like Mark Curley, The Cartoon Block, and White Manga. The whole foundation of my art comes from those channels. But then I ran across this one channel, a channel that was so ahead of its time that not only was it giving tutorials, but also was promoting their own manga project, vlogging their journey from start to finish with this project. At the time, that was a rare thing to see. Little to no one was giving us the behind the scenes stuff when it came to creating manga. Ryan and Anthony showed us the raw, uncut day-to-day of trying to get a manga self-published. What made you like to start documenting your whole entire journey on YouTube?
It's a good question. That's multifaceted. One was that we were looking for an outlet, so there was a lot of different outlets. I mean, that's as old as the MySpace era. It's old. That's a long time ago. But at that time, people realized still that social media was the way. YouTube was a place where I found, and I'd watch some of your videos prior to this interview here on Felipe Smith.
Yeah.
And I seen him because I was looking it up myself. I was very curious at the time how many people had actually tried to do a Japanese style out here in America. And Felipe Smith came up in my searches back then, and Mark Curley came up in my searches back then. And I specifically remember Anthony looking for like actual just kind of art for tips and tricks kind of
video, like tutorials and stuff like that.
Yeah, tutorials and stuff. Mark Curley came up back then. At that time, doing time-lapse art, which is so commonplace now in 2024. Yeah. But back then, that was new stuff, like time-lapsing art and doing that kind of stuff. So Felipe Smith, I remember seeing stuff about him, and I remember seeing stuff about Mark Curley as well. So those two guys, I was on YouTube already, I was watching because I wanted to see video, not just whatever,
Ryan and Anthony started this journey into self-publishing after being a finalist in a DC Comics talent search competition and almost closing a deal with a DC editor at the 2006 Comic-Con.
And we went out to a San Diego Comic Convention back in 2006.
Yeah.
None of this, I wish we would have captured a lot of this on tape because I could be wrong. It could be 2007. It's been a while ago now. In one of those 2 years, we went out there and we competed in the DC Talent Search Award, They awarded, I think, less than 10 people, and there was thousands of people that, put in. And me and Anthony turned in a 16-page short story graphic novel. We won, so we go back the next day. We're there.
Oh wow, that's dope.
Oh, it was. Oh, I thought that was it. Honestly, I thought that was going to be the ticket to something big.
Yeah.
We went in. We met an editor. She just she shredded us in the most respectful way. But at the time, I was taking it all personal. So was Anthony. We thought we were onto something. She essentially agreed, but we needed to be more finished, more polished. Anyway, we get back to Missouri, and we decide we're going to do our own thing on YouTube. And that's kind of where it started.
The pair didn't want to compromise the story of Rona for the editors, so Ryan and Anthony decided to make and publish the books themselves. The guys had already been familiar with YouTube and how it works. Of course, it had been in service for 4 years at the time, but there weren't many channels that were providing information on how to make or publish Western or American manga. Outside of music videos, YouTube was full of videos like this.
My name is Shanae, and Shane Dawson sent me here to...
So Ryan and Anthony said fuck it and started uploading on the side, not really knowing what was to come. So starting January 2009, the Rona project was born. It took them about 4 months to hit 1,000 subscribers and 3,000 subscribers in their first year. I know that might not sound like a lot, but think about this. One, in 2009, YouTube had barely surpassed 100 million total views on the website. Today, there's almost 3 billion active people on YouTube. Two, the algorithm isn't as powerful as it is today. You really had to search and be fully invested in the people you were watching back then. That subscriber button really mattered. And three, getting 1K subs in 3 months is super impressive, even by today's standards. There are some channels who have been on YouTube for years and I have not even cracked 100 subs. Hell, if I hit 1K subs before the summer ends, it would still have taken me 1.5 years to get to that point. So it's super impressive that they were able to get 3,000 subscribers in such a short time frame.
Back then, I was hardcore into anime. So I was listening to a lot of channels that were just doing reviews and stuff on anime.
Yeah.
I would say stuff to them I'd come out of nowhere, I come out of left field and be like, hey, I'm going to do my own anime, my own manga stuff,
Yeah.
And they actually respected it and appreciated it. And I would keep them up on it. I would send them look, this is pages that Anthony got done. This is some of the what we got. I'd do a character description. I'd send it to them, and they would bring me on for talks just like this way back then. And they might only have I think at our tops we were over 10,000, but we never hit 20. It was over 10. And they might have back then we had 0. They had 1,500, but that was huge.
Yeah, for sure.
Back then that was huge.
Yeah, it definitely is.
But they would be like, hey, these guys are doing this thing, and send people our way,
Yeah.
While Mark Curley would kind of throw a little recognition in there somewhere. That's not a real word, but that was it. That was really what was going on.
How did this channel gather and maintain such attention? I can say it was Ryan hitting up small anime review channels to come check their page and give them shout outs, or it was Anthony's amazing artwork and his how to draw videos. Although all those things are true and play a factor in the channel's growth, but there's something that's more deep rooted, a thing that Ryan and Anthony did without them even knowing. That thing was building a parasocial relationship with their viewers. See, Ryan and Anthony really brought us into their world. Just two guys hanging out and making their own manga at a very high quality. They showed us their day-to-day, the apartment they lived in, them running to Kinko's to get pages scanned in and things like that. They weren't some highbrow professionals in a fancy studio with high-end equipment, just two guys who showed us it was possible for anybody to do it. With that being said, what about the actual manga? The main thing that stood out among the content they were putting out on their channel, and what in my eyes was a staple of the Rona project, was the character descriptions. 10 to 15 minute videos of Anthony masterfully drawing characters from Rona, while Ryan gave us a deep and detailed description of whatever character was the main focus of that video. These videos really gave us a good look into what was to come in the Rona manga. Each new video description added more and more lore and world building to the story of Rona and gave hype to the manga in my eyes. Rona is truly a product of family and love. The story is influenced by Anthony's father, Jacob Jacobo, who would play Dungeons and Dragons with Ryan and Anthony. Growing up, Jacob would be the dungeon master for Ryan and Anthony's games of Dungeons and Dragons, and Jacob's storytelling in these these games really help expand Anthony and Ryan's imagination and their creative sides, and ultimately leading into the fantasy aspect of the Rona project?
I mean, the short answer to that is Dungeons and Dragons, second edition, and there was an AD&D before third edition came out. We were like not no ego or anything. I was always good with math, you know. So I love D&D. I love D&D. And I'm not sure what the later editions look like right now, but
I don't know. I don't know anything about that. So
it's kind of it's still like it's a niche thing, you know. But role playing, D&D back in the I'm trying to think, like, so 83. I really think that we probably got involved in it in the early 90s, and it probably throughout the 90s until the late 90s, you know. But I was deep into the mathematical part of it and the story part of it. So Jason was our DM, and we would do like all kinds of just wild stories. It's a role-playing game, you know, right? So it's a playing game. That created so much memories for me, so much interesting storylines for me. Jason was a great storyteller, and really got caught up with like creating a story. And we were doing things in those storylines that were deep thinking, kind of very philosophical back then. I want to give Jason a lot of credit here because he made some very thought-provoking scenarios and stories and stuff like that for us as kids. And it always stuck with me. And so that's a really big reason that the very inception of us going back to kind of that elves and medieval time, it is that we were inspired by D&D. Of course, we put our own twist on it, you know, because we went like with this Japanese style, you know, while doing something that's, I don't know, I guess that's American. I have no idea. But so that was the baseline for, I guess, the overlay.
The characters in Rona were also based on family members of Ryan and Anthony.
Erithus was Anthony's character. That was Anthony, you know. To get some, it wasn't just, you know, one of those stories where I guess, you know, it was bought and paid for. This was something that was personal to us at the time. People who look at my great grandfather and Chapin Greenleaf are going to see, like, you know, like that character was built strictly off my great grandfather. You know, even the character who dropped off Dasher at the very end of the book, that was built on my grandfather on my dad's side. So
it was going to be a series of true beauty and love. Rona obviously had influences from manga. The artwork that Anthony was making was phenomenal. The fight scenes were fast, high quality action, and you can see the D&D influence in some of the monster designs and such. The story was great as well. You could see all the intimate details Ryan put into the manga and the world's building in this story. Sadly, this dream was cut short due to Anthony passing away in the summer of 2010 in a car crash. Even after these tragic events, something that was stopped most, Ryan was determined to finish the book of Rona, not only for the supporters, but for Anthony. With the help of Anthony's brother, Ryan was able to finish and print out volume 1 of Rona.
All right, guys, it is Friday, about 5 o'clock. We almost gave it up for the day. We didn't think we were going to get the books in today, but lo and behold, this is the day we've been waiting for. The books have arrived. We just instantly grabbed the box and brought it in here, and we're just going to open it up right in front of you guys, and we're just going to do it with you, kind of. So here we go. Obviously, really excited. We did not expect to get the books today. I mean, we knew it could have been today, and if you read the blog, you knew that it was possible for today, but I never want to get my hopes up, and this one time it actually worked out for the best. So here they are. That's the back cover, actually, and I'll just flip it over, and there it is. Wow. It's a real book. Jeez, I don't even know what to say. Here they are.
After the first volume of Rona was done, Ryan took a step back from making this series. He couldn't think about letting any other artist touch the project that was so personal to him and Anthony. I'm just glad I was able to be a part of their journey and was able to witness it at first hand. The Rona project is something that truly influenced me and many others after. Did you ever consider like putting Rona up like maybe like on a webtoons or like on one of those websites to like just like have it out there? So yeah.
I would be completely open to that, like 100%. All I need is just kind of the tech help, and I think that Anthony and myself would want it up there for free right now. If we could get it up there for free right now, I would do it in a heartbeat. I don't know where people are looking nowadays, but like, you know, you could consider this full whatever. Whoever has the book, you want to take it apart, or I'll send you one. You could take it apart. The reality is, back then in 2011, so the book got published in March of 2011. Anthony died in April of 2010. At that time, I mean, that was a rough time, man.
Yeah, for sure.
We were, you know, what I had moving to California and everything, like, you know, I have a limited number of actual physical copies of Rona, you know, and it's sad, you know, because at first I was like trying to give them away, you know, but the reality is that I you know, I'm gonna have to take this and just put it up just because, you know, and I mean, for free. Like, I think that's the way. Be happy for, you know, anybody that wants to read it, you know, feel grateful for that. So absolutely. I would love to up on a spot like that.
It was great talking to Ryan, super cool guy. We had a great conversation even off after we're done recording. We talked for a little bit after. I'm going to put out the full length interview probably a week after this video drops, or maybe a week after that, because I already have another video lined up. So around that time, be on the lookout for the full interview with Ryan. We go more into depth about little intricacies and details of like the Rona project that I kind of sliced up to make it sound better for the video documentary. But I'm gonna put the full length upload on the channel, like I said. And also at the end, we kind of talk about some of the things that Ryan is doing in the future. He has like a children's book he's working on and stuff like that. So in the interview, he kind of goes into more of the depth of what that children's book is about. And it's honestly awesome to see that he's still being a creative person. I am a believer that once a creative, you're always a creative. You never really kind of stop being a creative. You kind of just go through your moments and times. And even I went through this time period of just not doing anything like creative. I stopped drawing after middle school, and I got picked back into it during the pandemic and stuff like that. So like I said, it's awesome to see that he's still fine and well, and also creating, or getting back into creating at least, right? The Rona project, man, that is something that is really like a nostalgia hit for me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I remember going to that channel and, when I first discovered it and going to it and watching the uploads and character descriptions, videos, and it was really encapsulated by the series. Even to this day, I still have my copy initially bought back in middle school, I remember when they first put it up, it was like probably one of the first things I bought online, I still even have the signature from Ryan in there. It's a little messed up, but I just remember picking it up and still having it. It's definitely like a precious timepiece in my life and my childhood, and something that I'm going to cherish forever, because it's that nostalgia factor that hits, and it's also a really important story. I feel like that should have been shared, and definitely doesn't get enough praise, because in this digital age, a lot of things that were classic, some people have never ran across, because the digital landscape is so massively wide, right? So that's just an interesting thing about the internet. Also, like I said earlier in the video, I highly appreciate everybody who's checked out my last two videos and every other video subsequently after that or before that. There's a lot of people who came and are new subscribers, so I appreciate you guys who are new subscribers. I appreciate the old subscribers. It's super dope. I finally was able to apply for the partnership thing. I'm not really expecting too much money out of it, maybe hopefully, but I'm not really like here for that. I'm definitely here to promote my work, my comics and stuff like that. I got stickers that are out right now on my website. They're $5 pop. If you could get one, I'd appreciate it. Also, just go to my website and just read some free web comics. I got all my comics up there. I'm currently working on a Spider-Man fan comic. I got the first half of the comic done. I was trying to get the first half done before I go to Heroes Con in about 2 weeks, and I'm going to get a couple printouts made of the comic and kind of show it off and to some creators and get some feedback from it and all that. That's kind of like my goal for the book. And then I'm going to continue pushing forward, because it's 60 pages long, 27 pages done so far. 26 of them are completely done. Just need the word bubbles in there done. So my plans for the book, for the rollout of the book, is going to be, I'm going to put 2 pages a week up on my YouTube community page on my website. That's going to be all for free, right? But if you want to read the full book, the first part at least, fully done, I'm going to upload it on my website, but it's going to be behind a paywall, so it's only going to be $2 to get the full copy of the first part of the Spider-Man Nobody's Safe. If you could pay for it, awesome. If you can't, just wait it out. Like I said, every 2 weeks I'm dropping 2 pages a week. So appreciate you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.